You're standing on the water's edge, rod in hand, thinking the day will be great, but fish aren't cooperating. Before you blame technique or luck, think about the air above the water. Barometric pressure. This script will walk you through how barometric pressure affects fishing, what's considered low, normal, and high, when to fish, how fish feed under different pressures, and which baits work best. First, what is barometric pressure in plain terms? It's the weight of the air pressing down on the earth, measured by a barometer. It fluctuates with weather systems. High pressure usually brings clear skies, low pressure often signals storms. You don't need to memorize numbers to be useful on the water, but a basic frame helps. Think of pressure like a dial that subtly influences fish behavior. What's normal, low, and high? Normal pressure sits around 29.92 inches of mercury at sea level. That's standard. Low pressure is anything significantly below that, often in the 29.5 or lower range. It usually arrives with cloud cover and rain. High pressure is noticeably above standard, often 30.2 or higher, and brings bright sun and stable conditions. Remember, elevations change the baseline, so check local readings on your phone or portable barometer for accuracy. How do fish respond to these changes? Fish are pressure sensitive. They feel changes through their swim bladder and lateral line, which affects buoyancy and comfort. Under high pressure, the water is slightly compressed. Fish can become less willing to move far from cover. They often hold tight to structure, feeding in short, careful bursts. Under low pressure, many species become more active, roaming into open water to feed aggressively before a front passes. During rapid pressure drops, when a storm is approaching, fish may gorge in anticipation. Conversely, immediately after a violent front, feeding can shut down as conditions stabilize and oxygen levels recover. So when should you fish? Timing matters more than ever when you consider pressure trends. The best window is typically a falling barometer leading into a front, and especially the period just before and during the early stages of a light rain. Fish get active and feeding increases. Right after a storm passes and pressure begins to rise, you often get another short window of good activity before things slow under stable high pressure. If pressure has been high and steady for days, expect tougher fishing. Fish tend to lock down and graze infrequently. Now let's talk bait selection. What to throw under different pressures. Under falling or low pressure, think aggressive presentations, big profiles, loud baits, and active retrieves. Use crankbaits that dive and wobble, spinner baits that flash and vibrate, and top water waking plugs in low light rain breaks. Bright colors and louder sounds help trigger reaction strikes when fish are hungry and mobile. Try something like a vibrating blade bait or a large swim bait if you're after predators on the move. Under high or stable pressure, subtlety wins. Slow down. Use finesse tactics. Soft plastics on shaky heads, drop shot rigs, small jerk baits, and slow-rolled swim baits. Natural colors that mimic forage work best. Think greens, browns, and translucent shades. Fish might hold tight on the edges of structure, so target seams, drop-offs, and vegetation lines. Work your bait slowly and pause often. A hesitant fish may need a gentle, hasty presentation rather than a loud one. Depth and location adjustments are critical too. Low pressure encourages fish to move into shallower feeding zones, so fish the flats, shallow points, and flooded vegetation. High pressure drives them deeper and closer to structure. Target brush piles, deep ledges, humps, and main lake points. Use electronics to locate concentrated fish and adjust lure depth accordingly. Feeding habits vary by species. While species like trout and walleye may prefer low light or moderate pressure windows but can go deep under high pressure. Panfish often follow similar rules but are more influenced by local temperatures and cover. Watch baitfish activity. When baitfish are active, predators will be too. Practical tips for a better day on the water. Check the trend, not just the number. Rapid changes matter more than an absolute reading. Magnifying glass. Fish early morning or late evening around high-pressure days. The low light helps. Sunrise or crescent moon. When pressure falls, be ready to change to bigger, louder baits and cover more water. Anti-clockwise arrows. After a storm, be patient. The best bite often comes a little while after conditions start stabilizing. Hourglass. Keep soft plastic color and weight variations handy to fine-tune presentations quickly. To wrap up, Barometric pressure is one of those invisible influences that, once understood, gives you an edge. Read the trends, adapt your gear and techniques, and match the mood of the water with what you throw. Fish respond predictably to pressure changes. They'll move, feed, or hide depending on the dial. And when you tune into that, your confidence and catch rate will climb. Get out there, watch the sky and your readings, pick the right baits for the pressure, and let the water teach you the rest.